Hi, I'm Dr. Joan Friedman. Welcome to Twin Tuesday. I'm going to talk today about some of the reasons why twins may not get along during their lifetime. It's a very big subject, and I've written a whole book about it called The Same But Different. But I want to give you a thumbnail sketch today with some examples so you can begin to understand how it's very inevitable from a developmental point of view that twins may develop some hiccups in their relationships along the way. The first thing to look at, I think, is adolescence or even before, when adolescents don't want to be known as twins. They want their own separate identities. So one may become a goth or one may become a big party goer. They will just act differently or look differently in order to try to find ways to be distinguished from one another. In the 20s and 30s, this is when individuals establish themselves and their identities according to their jobs and their professions. And oftentimes twins have lifelong dreams of doing things together, like singers and dancers and artists. And all of a sudden, one twin decides that she is not interested in going down that path. And of course, understandably, the other one is devastated. And what's often happened is, in this situation, the devastated twin enlists her family to also sort of conspire against the twin who's abandoned her. And that makes a situation like that extremely, extremely difficult. Marriages and relationships also cause twins a significant amount of distress. Twins are loyal to one another, and you put in a third person, and what a dyad becomes a triad, and there can be a lot of difficulties. For instance, the significant other may not be able to tolerate the fact that the twins have such a close relationship, or one twin may not be able to tolerate that her other twin is now significantly attached to somebody else and not her. Then, if we look later in life, maybe the 40s and 50s, by this time, I would say that most twins are established. So they have a certain sense of their social status, their financial status, their family, their children. And this is also a time when there's a lot of competitive feelings that come up. And usually they're very acrimonious because they've been simmering for so long and they haven't been really addressed earlier. So this can be a time also when you find a lot of rifts in twinships. There's two interesting, very emotional dynamics that also occur. One is that I talk often in my books and blogs about the caretaking dynamic. So one twin has assumed a caretaking role for her twin most of her life. And if all of a sudden the needy twin, the one who's cared for, no longer wants her caretaking twin to be doing this for her, there is a huge shock for the caretaker twin because this is a function that she's had for so many years, and to be denied it and to be without it causes her a tremendous sense of loss and a sort of an identity crisis because she doesn't really know who she is in relationship to her twin anymore. And then also a dynamic of feeling guilty arises. Some twins have felt so guilty about the inequities in their twin relationship for so long that they finally get so tired of it. So they need to go and talk to someone or hopefully be able to talk it through with their twin, because years of piling guilt and guilt about the twin relationship can really take an emotional toll on someone. I really do believe that at the end of the day, of course, most twins get along, and there's such an enormous longing to have a close and loving bond. And I believe that you can work so many of these feelings through in therapy as an individual or in therapy as a twin couple, because there's just so many ways that twins have not ever been able to learn to communicate and to begin to know one another as separate individuals. Thank you, and I'll see you next week.